Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and welcome to my starter Pokemon locations guide for PokeMMO in 2023. Now, if you aren't aware, with the 2022 Xmas Christmas event update for PokeMMO, they essentially added a new lore and a new requirement for catching starter Pokemon. You now have to be using an item called lures to be able to encounter starter Pokemon in PokeMMO. They also changed absolutely all of the locations, hence the need for this new guide. But a quick TLDR on lures is that they essentially act as reverse repels and allow you to get more encounters with fewer amounts of steps, and they also obviously allow you to encounter those lore exclusive Pokemon. You can purchase different severities or different strengths of lures from different levels of Pokemarts alongside the game's sort of difficulty and storyline. So for example, if you go to the Elite Four, you can obviously buy all of the different lures needed, aka the lore, the super lore, the expert lore. Similar to the repels, the only difference between these is the number of steps. I usually recommend just buying normal lures to test it out and get a hold on things if you're just learning about lures, or jump into expert lures once you get an understanding for things and don't mind sitting in one spot and just grinding it out. But that's it for the basics. In terms of Pokemon I recommend bringing if you want to start farming starter Pokemon, I recommend bringing at least one catching type Pokemon, like a catching Breloom is probably fantastic. However, you also probably want a Soak Spore Pokemon to be able to turn those grass type Pokemon, the grass type starters, into water types to be able to spore them. An HM friend is also probably nice, since you're probably going to have to surf on some of these locations and probably fly around if you want to farm these efficiently. But that's finally all of the groundings and basics covered. Let's go ahead and actually get into the locations. We're going to start with Kanto and start with number 1, Bulbasaur. Alright, Bulbasaur is a pretty easy one. He's going to be found here in Viridian Forest in Kanto with a lure. Go ahead and fly over to Pewter City. It's probably going to be the easiest way to get there, just going through the backside. So go to Pewter City, run down here, run into Viridian Forest, pop a lure, and just run back and forth. And you should be able to encounter Bulbasaur at a 5% encounter rate within the grass. Alright, moving on over to Charmander, which is located here at Route 3 with the lure. So I recommend flying over here to Route 4 or the entrance of Mount Moon and just running south a bit, and you'll come down to this location. Once you see in the top left-hand corner of your screen that it says the correct location that you want, you should be in the right spot. You should be able to run back and forth here with the lure active and find some Charmanders. You'll occasionally also find natural double battles like this with the lures. Alright, now next is Squirtle, and he's going to be found on Route 24 with a lure, which is just right above Cerulean City. You can start here, go ahead and bike upwards, and you should get there pretty quick once you cross the Nugget Bridge. The Squirtle spot is just going to be to this left of Nugget Bridge, over here where you would normally farm for Abra during the storyline. Once again, if you're having trouble finding them, make sure you have a lure active and just be patient. It is a 5% chance. Alright, since we're going in chronological order, let's go ahead and move on over to the JOHTO starters. Now, this is going to be one of the more complicated ones to explain, since JOHTO isn't currently in the game as of recording in January 2023. However, it's planning to be added in spring 2023, so these location spots might change once the region's added. They'll probably throw them all into the region, but for now, they're located in the HOENN Safari. Well, let me show you where they're all at. Let's go ahead and start here in Lily Cove City and head over to the HOENN Safari. Head over through this patch, of course, if you're not familiar. Keep heading west until you find this little house right here. You can walk inside. It's only 500 Pokeyen to get inside. However, the JOHTO starters are actually probably the most difficult to catch, since you can't control how you catch them with False Weapon Spore. You're really just hoping to the RNG gods with the Safari Ball spam. But all 3 of the JOHTO starters are going to be extremely close to each other, so keep that in mind when coming in here. I'm just going to show you guys where they're at all at once. So let's go ahead and first head over to the location that you need to get to. So starting from the entrance, you want to head north and essentially just go straight east as far as possible. Now, it's also really important to note, just stop right here. It's really important to note that you have to have the Elite Four defeated to be able to even access this part of the Safari Zone. But hopefully you have that done. Now, first things first, let's head up north. And if you head up here, up to this patch right before the staircase, up here, this is where you'll encounter Cyndaquil. Now, Cyndaquil is a very rare encounter, and he's also extremely difficult to catch. The best strategy for all of these Pokemon is just to spam the Safari Ball and hope for the best. A lot of new players get baited by this. Since Cyndaquil has such a high base price, you think of it as being, oh, it must be a great money-making method, but no, it's actually quite terrible. Don't waste your time here. You'll usually end up catching around, like, 0.60 Cyndaquils per hour. It took me an hour and 20 minutes to catch one here when I did a test video for it. But anyways, moving on in the HOENN Safari Zone, let's move down over to Chikorita, which is right down directly south from that Cyndaquil spot. We just head south, right here in this grass pass in this grassy area, and to the left, I believe you can find Chikorita right here. And then right next to the Chikorita spot, you'll also be able to find Totodile right here in the water. It's that simple, that easy. Totodile will spawn right in here. You see these people farming here. This is where you'll see people going for Totodile catching events, etc., etc. So Totodile can be found right here surfing on the water. I usually just recommend people catching one of each of these starters for their Pokedex entry to just get it caught OT and then just move on and never come back here. Alright, but next up is the HOENN starter locations. Let's go ahead and start with my boy Treecko. They can be found, as you can see here, in Petalburg Woods with the lore, of course. The Johto starters don't need the lore. That's an important note. Alright, to get to Petalburg Woods, you either want to start from Rustboro City and go south, or start from Petalburg City and go northwest. I'm going to start from Rustboro. You essentially just want to come down here, come south, come around this sort of bridge loop that we're about to get to. And it should be a pretty quick trek over to Petalburg Woods right here. And then anywhere in here, anywhere within the grass, you should be able to encounter Treecko. Yeah, anywhere within the grass, just make sure your lore is active and you should be good. Next up is Torchic. Let's go ahead and head over to Route 112. Hilariously enough, I think that Torchic actually didn't move. You just need a lore now, which is kind of funny. So starting here in Lava Ridge Town in HOENN, you want to head to the east, hop over these fences upcoming, or these ledges, whatever they are, hop over them, and then right here in this grass patch is Route 112, and you can find Torchic. Alright, next up is everybody's simple little water boy. It's going to be Mudkip. Now, Mudkip is going to start at a similar location to Treecko, starting here in Rustboro City, and then we're also going to head south like this, but eventually we're actually going to loop around to this little grass spot over here. It's kind of cute, kind of in its own little lane. So you want to come around the water path like normal, come around, and then instead of going over to the forest, just come over here through this patch up here, and then in here, if you lure, you'll be able to find Mudkip. Alright, now over to the SINNOH starters, starting with Turtwig. Alright, Turtwig's pretty fast and easy. Starting here in Hearthome City, you want to pop on your bike, head southwest, loop around here, and eventually you're just going to come to this through this western little tunnel. You're going to come to this big patch of grass here on Route 208, which you can lure and find Turtwig on. Alright, next up, the feisty boy that is Chimchar, going to be on Route 211. Chimchar is once again a pretty simple one. Start here in Celestic Town in SINNOH, hop on your bike, head around the outer edge west, head over here to this grass patch, and there you are, Route 211. Make sure to pop your lure, and you'll find Chimchar. On to the last SINNOH starter, Piplup. Looks like it's going to be in the grass in SINNOH on Route 213. Super simple one. Once again, let's go ahead and start here in Pastoria City. Head slightly north and mostly just straight east over through this tunnel. And there's a giant patch of grass here, which you can pop a lure and then hunt for Piplup for. They really made all of the locations much easier to get to at the cost of now having to use lures. So whether that's a win-win or a win-loss or whatever you want to call it, I think it's pretty interesting. Now on to the last three starters. Let's head over to the Snivy, Tepig, Oshawott generation, Gen 5. Now first up for Gen 5, Snivy is going to be found in Pinwheel Forest in the grass with the lure. Let's head over there. So for Pinwheel Forest, you want to head over to Nakreen City, hop on your bike, and just head straight west, and you should be able to encounter the forest pretty simply, pretty large. Here you go. Go ahead and pop a lure anywhere in here, and you should be able to encounter Snivy just wherever there's grass. Make sure you're not running on the dark grass or anything looking for Snivy. It's really important to make sure you're on the right type of encounter where the Pokemon is found. You're not going to be able to find Snivy on dark grass or Squirtle on water or anything of the sort. Alright, moving on over to Tepig. It looks like he's going to be encountered on Route 3 now with lures in UNOVA. So let's start here in Striation City on the map, one of the earlier cities. Should just be able to head west and then north, and essentially we're going to be passing the daycare, heading west past the daycare, and then right here you should be able to encounter Tepig with lure. Next up is Oshawott, which is going to be in the cold storage in UNOVA. Now, the cold storage is to the south of Driftvale City, so you want to start here, hop on your bike, and just essentially just head south into this sort of, weird compartmentalized industrial section of it. And now we're in the cold storage. Once again, it's top left-hand corner of your screen. Now we can see that we're in cold storage. So if you pop a lure and run back and forth in the grass right here, you'll encounter Oshawott. Something really interesting worth noting from my discoveries of testing this is that you can actually encounter hordes of 3-time starter Pokemon now. Obviously, it's pretty rare, but it's super interesting that that's even possible. To be able to encounter quasi hordes of starter Pokemon is super interesting. I encountered ×3 Squirtles during the making of another video. Alright, but that should cover everything. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments down below. And if this video was helpful, do make sure to leave a like on it to let me know. It's really important to understand what kind of content you guys enjoy the most. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see daily PokeMMO videos. I do upload every single day and stream Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. EST here on YouTube and over on Twitch. My Discord's also links down below if you want to join a really cool community of people who just really love this game, hopefully as much as you do, and just have a fun time, meet people, meet teams, and also just learn a ton about the game along the way. If you enjoy my content enough to find yourself wanting to go above and beyond and support the content, support the channel, and allow me to stay full-time, becoming a YouTube member for $5 a month, dropping a Twitch Prime or a Twitch sub over on my Twitch, or hitting up my PayPal or Venmo are fantastic ways and really do help me out a ton, and also get your name featured at the end of important videos like this. I can't thank you guys enough for those who do support, and I'm super excited for 2023. PokeMMO is just a fantastic game, and I'm super lucky to be able to play it every day. I love you guys. Have a good one. Peace. Yo, if you're watching this, that means you watched the entire video. So first things first, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. And if your name is on this list, that means you go above and beyond and support the channel and allow me to do what I do every single day. Thank you so much, and have a great day.